Good morning. So, I thought this weekend I'll talk about something similar but not exactly the same thing as an explanation of what could be the consciousness. There are many people who want to know what's the consciousness neuroscientists, neurologists, and of course, theologians. And everybody has a different thought process. The consciousness is not similar to soul or energy or life, but one could consider that to be the soul. So I just want to talk to you about it as my own opinion, which of course is affected by listening to other people and reading and whatnot. I am not somebody who knows with 100% as to what exactly it is, nor did I have any experience of bliss. So one could consider that everything is happening in the consciousness. We sometimes think that the consciousness is separate from physical body, separate from mind, intellect, or in Indian culture, chitta. But if you think everything is in itself and it's an independent observer, but again, everything is happening in itself, then one can understand what exactly consciousness is. This is a typical thought process of Advaita philosophy where everything is one, not Vishishta Advaita. There are two separate things. So the example that I can give is a typical one where if there is a lot and you want to build a house and you create the rooms by building the four walls, or if there is a pot where the pot has a space inside, which we call as a space bounded or boundaries of which are pot. And if I break the pot, the space is not there anymore. So the similar thing can be looked upon on a house. If I build a house and I name one as a living room, one as a kitchen, one as a bedroom, etc., the four walls, the space which is confined to those four walls, is considered as, say, living room or family room. But if I break those four walls, then the space is still there, and it is one with the every other space that is there in the house or outside the house, and it is not a different. So you, for your convenience, are calling something which is bounded by four walls or bounded by the pot, earthen, and that's what we are calling it as a space in the pot or living room or family room, etc. So this is a exactly similar thing as far as consciousness is concerned. You have to remember that when we talk about an example, the examples are only for that particular thing. Everything cannot be similar for the two things. So consciousness is not a space, and all the characteristics of space are not consciousness related. But if I continue to talk about this, let's say that the consciousness enclosed in a physical body would be the localized consciousness, which confines to the body, and as we call something as a living room, we call it confined to my physical body as my consciousness, my jiva, my soul, my life. Again, this is only for the purpose of explaining, not exactly the same thing. So when the consciousness, which is pervading everything and which relates through the mind, and one confuses mind and intellect as the self or the physical body as the self, that's where the problem occurs. And that is an ignorance, and that ignorance must be destroyed to get to the consciousness. So I can add one more thing to it. So one could say that, well, when the pot is broken or the house walls are broken down, the space becomes one with the outside space, which is everywhere. As much as this is true, the consciousness that is confined in a human body, or for that matter even an animal body where it is not as advanced or as much as it is in the human body, is not only limited by the physical body but also by subtle body and by causal body. So just because physical body is destroyed at the time of death, consciousness does not get merged with the universal consciousness. Like the space inside the house or a living room or space inside a pot gets one with the space outside the pot and outside the house when the walls are broken down or pot is broken. This is not exactly the same. So another example which was given by Paramahansa Yoganandaji many, many years ago in one of his books was that if you take a glass bottle and fill it with the seawater, seal it, put that into another glass bottle, seal it, and put that glass bottle into another bottle and seal it, and throw it in the sea or an ocean. Even though the water inside the bottle, in the innermost bottle, is still the seawater, it is not mixing with the outer water. So if you break the outermost glass bottle, the water is still not mixing. So there are still two more coverings or the glass bottles to be broken before the water can become one with the ocean water, even though the water is exactly the same that you took from the ocean. So now you might get the idea as to what is the consciousness when it pervades, but is limited by three bodies: causal body, subtle body, and physical body. I've explained the three bodies in another video in the past, and one may look at it if there is any question. But at the time of physical death, the physical body dies, but the astral body or the subtle body and causal body or karana sharir, as it is called in Sanskrit. So karan sharir is causal, sukshma sharir is subtle or astral body, and sthula sharir is the physical body. So even though the physical body dies, the two others are still there encasing the consciousness. And so the consciousness does not merge in the universal consciousness at the time of death, but it is carried to another level or the plane to be reborn with another outer covering of a physical body. I just stopped for 5 seconds to see that this is complex. But just to explain it again, the consciousness encased in a causal body, which is encased in a subtle body, which is encased in a physical body, is not merging with the universal consciousness simply because of the barriers of these three bodies. And physical body barrier, it goes away when we die, but the two other barriers continue to be carried, which are same through different lives. And they need to be broken. So when you, I don't know what is you or what is me, understand that everything is reflected in the consciousness, which is innermost thing, then only you can break the barrier of subtle body, which includes the mind, intellect, chitta, etc., and the causal body. Then only you can be, your consciousness will merge with the universal consciousness. A little bit profound, at least to understand, but once we understand, maybe we can practice our behavior accordingly. Thank you for watching. I hope you like it and subscribe to it. Have a nice day.